Good morning, everyone. This is Karen Richardson. I am the Executive Director of the Virginia Society for Technology and Education, and I'm pleased to welcome everyone to our Digital Learning Day festivities. As we've done in the past, we are going to be spending the day talking to students from across Virginia, although actually this morning we're focusing specifically on students from the Richmond area. VSTE has a regional partner in the Greater Richmond Area Educational Technology Consortium, and so we'll be featuring students who are part of that consortium. You can check out the full schedule for Digital Learning Day at VSTE.org and also follow us on Twitter at VSTE. So I'm pleased to welcome the three young people you're looking at right now. They are from Mr. Frago's class in Goochland County. You're welcome to give a wave. And they're going to be talking to us about a particular way that they approach projects in their classroom. So let's go ahead and have you start by telling us your name, and I'll fill it in. They're all in 6th grade. So go ahead and tell us your name, and then we'll start talking about Scrum.
My name's Amor.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Nolan.
Great. So you all are taking, oh, and there's Mrs. Lederman, and they're also part of Mr. Frago's class in Goochland County. So part of the reason that we're talking to you today is because you use a particular approach to doing projects in your class, and it's an approach called Scrum, which some people that are listening or watching this later may not know what that is. So who wants to kick it off by giving us sort of the one sentence or two about what Scrum is?
Scrum is a efficient way to do a project because if somebody's not there, then you know what to do, and you usually use a folder and sticky notes, and you write everything you need to do so it will become accomplished.
Okay, good. Somebody else?
What I'm adding on to what Maya said, if someone's not here, you can verbally communicate and using the Scrum board so they can look back and see what you've done and look into the backlog and see what they need to do for today without the Scrum leader to tell them what to do.
Anyone else? Fill in.
So they have 3 different categories: backlog, doing, and done. And your backlog is filled with things that you need to do, and doing is what the person's doing now, and done is what you've accomplished.
I have a follow-up question just to clarify. Tell me how you decide when things are done. Who decides when things are done?
Usually the Scrum Master, and the Scrum Master is not the leader. They don't boss people around. They just make sure everything's done. And when something's accomplished, we all move it to done, and then we just leave it there.
What other things the Scrum Master does is that they make sure the backlog is all in check, and that they have enough work for people to be doing if they're not there, or if someone else isn't there, they have something to do.
Yeah, they just make sure the project's going well and that they're in charge of the Scrum work.
So it might help us if you give an example. So what project are you working on right now that you're applying Scrum to?
We're cells, and we're doing passive transport, active transport, and
we're doing a stop motion video on that.
So we have different sprints and story points we're doing. So we have a lot of story points we have to include. And then Mr. Frago has, what's the thing called?
The mitosis?
No, not mitosis.
The
Check-in one.
Oh, the velocity.
The velocity.
Product demo.
Demo. So we have to figure out our velocity to figure out how long our project's going to be lasting. So say a group has like five story points done in like 3 class periods, then they would take a lot more time than a group that would get 18 story points done in three periods. So they would be able to have opened up to more time, or Mr. Frago would tell them to hurry up.
You just need to see if you need to work faster because you're comparing yourself to other groups.
So perfect. So on your backlog are basically the list of things that you have to do.
Yeah.
So when you come into class in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
There's this thing called stand-up, and the Scrum Master usually leads the stand-up. you do stand up. It usually lasts 5 to 6 minutes, and you just talk about what you did last class and what you're going to do this class.
And then at the end, you have another stand-up talking about what did you do this class and what you need to do next class.
And then tell us what a sprint is, because for somebody old like me, that sounds like exercise, and I don't think it is.
A sprint is usually velocity time. So Mr. Frego can give us like 4 to 5 days. That's called a sprint, and we get as much done as possible in that 4 to 5 days. And also, yeah, we get as much done in velocity, and then he gives a product demo, and then we're on to the second or third sprint, or on and on until the product is done.
So
And how many people are normally in a group?
It depends. If there's going to be like a giant acting part, then it's usually going to be like 5 to 6 people. But if it's just going to be like a little stop motion that you're not even going to have actors or anything in it, it's probably going to be like 2 to 3 or 2 to 3 people.
Because right now we have about 3, but one project we had
Like
5, and then one we had like 4. So, yeah.
It depends on the project.
And depends how many people you have.
Yeah. If you have
Mrs.
enough to
Lederman?
have like 5.
yes, ma'am.
Did you have something you were going to say?
Yes, so a product demo is at different times during the project, the students have to present to the teacher and to the class to get feedback, and they get feedback right from the teacher and from the other teams. And it's a time for the kids to norm where they are. Are they falling behind? Are they moving ahead? And quality-wise, how does their project match the quality of everybody else's project? And they share ideas. So it's not like, well, that was my idea and you can't use it. If somebody has a good idea, it's okay for other teams to use that idea as well, because when one team does well, they have the obligation to help all the other teams do well. So
Nice.
is that right?
So we heard about one of your projects. Are there some other examples that you'd like to share with us of things that you've done?
Well, we are learning about like organisms living in their habitats. So we did one where you have to make up an organism and then put it in a habitat and talk about like what it eats to like have in that habitat. And we also did one where we watched the Lorax movie, and then we tried to fix the environment. Like we need to add filters and stuff to make the environment a better place.
Back putting on to what Maya has said, the ecosystem one, we had to create like a 5-page keynote about the we mixed a cheetah with a turtle, and we said it lived in the Arctic. We had to give them special adaptations to be able to live in the Arctic.
You
Nice.
can just
In Arctic, and they would die.
So I'm gonna ask a question. How do you guys use your devices and all the tools that you have on your devices so that you can share everything? Since this is digital, I'm bringing the digital part
I
in.
was just getting there, so you read my mind. Good.
We're a one-to-one school, and so the kids are going to talk about how they use their stuff to help their teamwork.
We use Google Docs. We all put everything on a Google Doc, and then we share with everyone in our group. And then so say we have 3 iPads, and then we need this person to film this section of it, and then this person to film this section of it, like because it's a stop motion. Then we put it all in a Google Doc, and then one person in the group adds it all into an iMovie, and then just the whole project's done.
And Mr. Frego recently created HyperDocs, which he shares with us. It's kind of like a Scrum board too, because it tells us what we need to do in that day, and then what we're going to be doing, and then when we're done, we can go back and look at it to help us with the project.
It's also a good idea because he said like if we're in 9th grade and we're taking world biography, and then nothing that we learned in this year is going to be used in that, then we can have those HyperDocs in a Google Drive, and they will never go away because it's just Google Drive. So like, when we go back into 10th grade, we learn
World history.
then we can pull out those like HyperDocs and then use them for that, because we're learning about like World War I, World War II, and history.
And we upload it to a Google Drive so we can always have it.
So we're talking about the teacher creating the students' helping the students create digital portfolios that will travel with them. And they're starting in the 6th grade, and they know that whatever they have and whatever they learn is going to travel with them until they leave and even after, because we make our accounts available to students after they graduate.
Excellent, 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 excellent. We like it. So, so we wanted to hear about the technology piece. We're, adults are always fascinated by students because you're labeled as these digital natives. You've grown up with these technologies. So start on the left and just tell me a little bit about what you do with technology outside of school.
Well,
Sorry, my left.
Well, if we start something, if we didn't finish it in class, like, we can go, everybody can work on it at home. So somebody could be typing, somebody could film something at home and add it to Google Drive, and then I can receive it on my iPad, and then add it into iMovie, and the project will be done then, instead of like in class where if we can run out of time that way.
And what do you do
So you
with
think-
technology if it's not school related?
Yeah, that's not like, do you use technology for fun?
yeah, me and my friend have a YouTube channel, and we play like Minecraft. We play like Cheese Wars, which is egg wars on CubeCraft and stuff. Post videos.
Snapchat, Instagram,
Musically.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're all Snapchat users. I'm going to have to come by someday and you can give me a Snapchat lesson because I don't know anything about it at all. I do know how to play Minecraft, though. I will say that. I've built a few things in. I do. Yes, old people are allowed to play Minecraft as well. But I play creative mode. I haven't quite gotten to survival mode. That's what we'll be doing this summer. A bunch of us get together and play. So what else do you want to let us know here? We've got about 3 minutes left. And one of the questions we often ask is, if you had your school superintendent in the room, or you had school board members in the room, what would you tell them about technology in school? You guys are lucky in a way. I don't know if you know that or not, that, in Goochland County, you get access to a lot of technology, access to stuff on the web that maybe other schools don't always have access to. You're allowed to bring your phones to school. So what kind of things would you say to the grown-ups to adults about using technology in school and why it's important?
Like we
And
said,
let's just start on we'll start on the right and go across. We'll give everybody a chance.
Okay, so
You're my right.
So it's good to stay connected even at home, because like as we said, Google Docs, we can always, since we always have, almost all of us have phones, and we can text each other if we want to work on the project. And if we work on the project, then it can get done faster, and if it gets done faster, we get a better grade, and we can always work and improve it, and if we finish it. And it's a good idea to stay connected with Google Drives and Docs and iMovies and everything that can be connected with Schoology. You can text each other in Schoology.
So not everybody has phones, so you can tell the person like in class, go on Google Docs
this time.
tonight, and then we can go on it. But if you have a phone, you can text them and say go on it. But it's all connected, and then we can work on it at home. So it's really nice. It helps us with our projects a lot.
All right, and you get the last word.
Well, technology is really effective to our learning now, because we have homework on our iPads. So now we can do homework reading instead of having to carry large textbooks. We have it all in our iPad. And so Mr. Frago usually gives us a weekly quiz, and we read a section of reading. We read a section of a book or what we're learning about, and then we take a quiz on it at home or in Eagle Block. And we usually have 10 attempts, and that's basically just our homework.
Okay, cool.
And that's on Schoology. And Schoology makes everything easy because there's tons of files, but all put into one smaller file. And it just really helps because you can locate lots of things easily. Yeah.
And you said Schoology, that's your learning management system, right? So everybody can go in there and see what's going on. That's great. Well, I wish I had more time to talk to you because I'd love to hear if so we'll have to come back and visit on another day because I'd love to hear if you're applying what you're doing with Scrum in Mr. Frago's class to any of your other classes or just to your life in general. Have you found yourself managing your life as a project?
I have, because last year I was in a Goochland Gifted Research Programs, which is GRIP, and I did Greek mythology, and my little sister, she did Roman mythology, and we used Scrum to keep in track with what we were accomplishing because we did a giant presentation together with Roman and Greek mythology.
Nice. Okay, good.
We don't use it in many other classes, but we should try to get it.
Yeah.
But you yourself can sort of apply it in your own life as well, right? Just in terms of what's the backlog of things that you need to do and how are you going to get them done and so on and so forth. So I saw a funny video. You'll have to go out and look at it. A guy was doing a lecture on Scrum and he brought up this spreadsheet. It was really complicated and it had all these layers to it. And it was his plan for preparing his Thanksgiving Day meal. And he had applied agile development to it in Scrum. So his 90-year-old aunt at 3:58 p.m. even had a job to do as part of that. So you can certainly apply your project management ideas to lots of things in your life. Well, we're going to have to go because we've got another class queued up. I can't thank you all enough for coming and visiting with us today. Give everybody a big wave and we'll say goodbye. Thanks so much for coming.
Bye.
Thanks, Peterman. Bye.